Before I say anything, I wanna say Link is the best looking female character, but he's a man. Easy, god damn it, why you have to be a man? I got an idea. Now, he's a woman. This is my first Zelda game I ever played. Before that, I know the older Zelda games. It's pretty classic series among the gamers, so I identify myself as a gamer. Even though I didn't play the Zelda game before, I heard the glory of Zelda games. I heard the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time was perfect, and the Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess was perfect. Other games was great as well, but these two was most popular among the fans. But I didn't play these two as well. My first Zelda game was Breath of the Wild, and I can say that game was
perfect. Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
Before I say anything, I played GTA 5, Red Dead Redemption 2 and other great open world games like Elden Ring, but Breath of the Wild open world is amazing. Up till this day, I didn't see anything like that. It's so nice to explore the map, wander around the map and do some side quests. I love this game a lot. It's a simple game, but this simplicity is very nice. I like to talk and research about games that I like. So in this video, I am going to talk about development of Breath of the Wild. Before we start, please subscribe the channel. I wanna reach 1000 subscribers. Then let's start. Opening, short info. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is 2017 action-adventure game, developed and published by Nintendo, and you can only play with Nintendo. Yeah, my emulator says otherwise. Just kidding, don't sue me Nintendo. They spent 5 years developing the game. Isn't 5 years too much? Okay, I understand 4 years. I understand. In nowadays AAA games takes too much time to develop. I guess 5 years is okay as well. Nintendo started to develop the game right after The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. Director of the game is, here we go, Hidemaru Fujibayashi and producer Eiji Aonuma. Nintendo wanted the game apart from other games. They developed really good physics engines for this game. Also, they inspired from many games like Shadow of the Colossus and The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. They inspired map design, stuff like that from these games, but I can say Breath of the Wild has its own special touch. It's similar and very unique. That's why I like to wander around in the map. When game released in March 3, 2017, it received many awards and game awards. Critics stated that open world is very nice, they like the detail of the world. To this day, it's the best-selling Zelda game and one of the most selling games of all time. It sold 34 million copies. I think it's pretty good number if we think game only released on Nintendo, Wii U and PC emulators. Well, if it was released on PC publicly, officially, that number could have been 50 million. I'm not kidding, that will be better for Nintendo and games' popularity. I don't think Nintendo will change its policy, Sony changing its policy and they are glad from their sales. I mean, PC market is big as well. Yeah, people are pirating, but still there's a big marketplace in here. Development process. Nintendo developed the game for Nintendo Switch and Wii U and PC emulator. Okay, don't sue me Nintendo, I was kidding. You can only play this game in Nintendo and Wii U. If you don't have these consoles, go fuck. Producer, here we go again. Eiji Aonuma wanted to change the Zelda games. He said, rethink the conventions of Zelda. It's a good way to make your own fan base hate you, but they made a good game. They started development in 2011, right after Zelda Skyward Sword release. Aonuma received comments from players who wished to see a more interconnected map to explore the locales between the gameplay areas. Well, that's nice, very nice idea. They implement this idea in new Zelda game The Legend of Zelda A Link Between Worlds, and player praised this game a lot. Aonuma planned to reform dungeons and puzzles as well. Like I said, I don't know. I didn't play previous Zelda games. If these changes was good, I love the puzzles in Zelda Breath of the Wild, but I don't remember cave or something like that. I think they removed it. They didn't want the game to be narrative game like Call of Duty or BioShock. Developers wanted to give player a freedom. So with this new style, you can directly go to end of the game. It's your choice. But there was a problem. They never developed a game like Breath of the Wild before. The open world was huge compared to other Zelda games, so they look big successful games like The Elder Scrolls V, Skyrim and Shadow of the Colossus. These two games had similar climbing mechanics. That's okay. It's similar but still different. Breath of the Wild has its own style. I like climbing in this game. It's fun to climb. So they have the idea of developing the open world, but they need something for the art style. They inspired from two big anime studios, Studio Ghibli and Hayao Miyazaki Productions. These two studios is making nice work. I love the art style of these studios. It resembles the Breath of the Wild's art style. Developer inspired from many good stuff, which is good, even though they inspired from many things. This game still has special art style. The protagonist, Link, was redesigned with Aonuma, purposely making him more gender neutral, so that player could have easily relate to him. That wasn't we want, Aonuma. Because of you, I said Link is beautiful. Because of you, I became gay. I mean, we didn't want this, but it would be good if Link was more manly. This version of Link isn't bad. I like this version of Link. I don't have problem with it. He looks man enough, so it's okay for me. They tried the physics engine on 2D prototype. The final version of the game uses modified version of the how.I physics engine. I gotta say this engine is very capable. Physics engine in this game is pretty nice. It's pretty realistic and you can use physics. Aonuma called the physics engine in Breath of the Wild a major development for the Zelda series. He said physics engine underpins everything in the world in logical and realistic way. But at first developing this kinda engine was difficult because weather events was breaking everything. Fixing this was a big problem. Early development process in the game, they was working on a double hookshot. It's a mechanic that allows you to swing like a Spider-Man. I think it will be nice to have that, but same time it could broke the game. I don't know, I like the way it is, it could be better though. You know, swinging like Spider-Man could be very entertaining and could have made the climbing more fun, but it ended up being removed after the developer found out it gave the player too much mobility. Well, that's a fair statement. That will be OP, I can't lie. Another thing they want to add is action. Action in previous game was too much. They wanted to reduce it and add more things to the world. It's like a Full Metal Alchemist thing. You take something and you have to give equivalent of what you take. In the first version of the game, you could use your screen with VU solve the puzzles. But while they looking forward and back, they decided that's a bad feature. They stated it's a distraction. As we said before, game released on Wii U and Nintendo Switch. Because of Wii U is an old hand console. Compared to Nintendo Switch, Switch is offering better quality and better sounds. Because of Wii U, they didn't add some stuff to the game. Because Wii U couldn't run the game if they added extra stuff. They decided to remove extra content from the game, but they add the same content for the Tears of the Kingdom. Because Tears of the Kingdom is not releasing on Wii U, it's only exclusive for Nintendo Switch and PC emulator. Don't sue me please Nintendo, I'm just trying to be funny. For the Sheikah technology and architecture, they got inspiration from German periods. I mean they inspire from everything. If you steal from one person, you are thief. If you steal from everybody, you are company. The landscape of the game was based on location in around Kyoto, the hometown of director Hidemaro Fujibayashi. Bro, this place looked like heaven. I could live here if I got a wife like Paya. I couldn't care less about Princess Zelda. I mean, who wouldn't? Breath of the Wild was the first main Zelda game to use voice acting in cutscenes. Well, is it? I mean, is it? Why didn't you use voice actors? I mean, Link still doesn't have voice actor. It feels so wrong. When Princess Zelda speaks, he just listens and looks to Zelda. It looks so funny. Say something, say something. Not speaking game character looks so silly. Same thing for Half-Life 2. I hate when Gordon doesn't speak. Alex is sad, Gordon doesn't say anything. Alex is happy, Gordon saying nothing. It was a thing back in the day, and I didn't like it. The original score was composed by Manaka Katoaka. There is one thing I know from Japanese names. If it's hard to pronounce the name, successful the person is. The soundtrack was primarily written and performed on a piano. Relaise and Sales. Game was originally going to release in 2015, but they delayed the game. After that, in April 2016, game delayed again because they had problem with physics engine, so they had to delay. Breath of the Wild launched for Wii U and Nintendo at the same day, March 3, 2017. This is the last Nintendo game for release for Wii U. Wii U only had base version of the game, but Nintendo Switch could run the game easily. They added more stuff and more version for it. Breath of the Wild broke sales record for a Nintendo in multiple regions. In Japan, the Switch and Wii U version sold a combined 230,000 copies in the first week of the release. Nintendo reported that Breath of the Wild sold more than 1 million copies in the US that month. Nintendo President Tatsumi Kimishima said the attach rate on the Switch was unprecedented. Well, they made a good game. People want to buy the console. Same thing for PS4. Nobody buying because it's a strong console, because they are making good exclusive games on it. Breath of the Wild had sold 21 million copies on Switch by December 2023 and 1.7 million copies on Wii U by December 2020. I love the game. It's a very nice game. I love the story. I love the characters. I love the world. I love everything about the game. It's a simple game, but game makes this great. I love the art style. I love the animations. I love mechanic. I love Paya. I love the most things about the game. That's why I want to learn about the game. So I want to learn something more about the game, the development process, how much they sold, stuff like that. That's why I made this video. I hope you enjoyed. Please consider subscribing the channel. I wanna reach 1000 subscribers. If you sub, that will be very nice. Have a nice day. See you in the next video.